Welcome, reading 3. You chose the Moonology deck, and the question is, which relationship patterns do I need to break? This is a powerful one. I felt a lot of heavy energy coming into this. A lot of mirror reflection energy of having to look at ourselves. So easy to point the finger at somebody else. But if you're here right now, you do want to change. You want something in your life to change, or else you wouldn't be here at all. So let the moon be your guide. We had the same picture as from the inside of the Moonology deck, but that came in from reading 2 as well. So if you're drawn to reading 2, which is the question was, what are my special gifts? You may want to go back down to the description box and go there. I'm sorry. I always feel bad for the last reading because, I've been doing this all day. You're my 4th reading today. And you guys are so powerful, So I'm going to take it down a little bit and just talk to you straight. So deep theta, 6 hertz, Herz, hertz. Deep theta, it's meditation music. It's your mission, should you choose to accept it. Your homework is to work with deep theta 6 hertz. But the interesting thing was, after I wrote down, I wanted to make sure I didn't forget it, so I put on my notes, I put deep theta / 6 hertz, HZ, 6 HZ. And then Spirit put ... 6 hertz, HURTS. So I don't know who 6 is. I don't know what that means to you. Because 6s are actually a really joyous number. Even 666 is actually a positive number of love and light and abundance. It comes out to the number 3, actually, when you deduce it down to its, lowest denominator. And but when I heard that, I heard 6 hertz. I mean, it could be you're dating a football player and he's number 6. It's something like that. Or somebody who's like, I'm a life path 6. Or there's something. It's somehow, or maybe it's you. Maybe you're the 6, but it just says 6 hertz. So the first time I heard it, I felt it as like 6 hertz, like somebody with the 6 energy or 6 number or something around them with the number 6 is hurting you, right? This is, which relationship patterns do I need to break? So it's like, this is a relationship with somebody. Ooh, I'm feeling some really heavy old energy. Damn, I feel like the ancestors just came in and I feel like I just want to close my eyes and lay my body down. I'm not kidding you. But this is how I feel. I feel like you guys are heavy. This is a person that's filled and consumed with darkness. I feel like I can't move my body. I'm so sorry you feel like this, reading 3. I love you. Oh gosh, when I looked down, it was 333. Holy shit. So that's your angel number to work with. Dude, that happened in one of the other readings. I think it was 222. So listen, wow, the way that went through my body, I felt like it was ancestors, but then I started to realize, yes, they're ancestors, but they're shrouded in darkness. Sometimes we are aligned with people to help them along their way. But when we are no longer needed, okay, perfect example. Many moons ago, I was very, very much in love, infatuated with this beautiful lover who was definitely a soulmate from a past life. We had a connection like I've never had with another human being, still to this day. And I was like, what is this? What is this? So I was consumed with twin flames and relationships when I came into my gifts. And I was absolutely positively certain that he was my twin flame, all of these things. And I got obsessed about it. I mean, I chased that ghost for about 15 years. Come to find out, now knowing what I am, I was just there to teach him. And I was like, I don't know, 5.5, almost 6 years older than him. And I was just there to teach him and help him along his way. When I met him, he was literally suicidal, was going to die. But I knew that he had more to do on this life path, and he just needed to, he needed some guidance. He needed some direction. And I did too. We were both lost. It was after my first marriage fell apart and he came into my life, and it was just like this, and we just loved each other. We were best friends. He made me laugh. Like, just there were so many beautiful things, but there were also dark things and fucked up things that I knew. I was like, I can't live with this person for the rest of my life if they're not going to change. Like, I can't. Like, it was kind of like it was just I knew that if I went back to it, I would die. So cut 2 years later, I'm with, my husband who I'm with now, but it's at the beginning stages. We're having a really rough time. He's a sex addict. He can't stop cheating. He can't stop, his addictions, all of these things. And it was just like really, 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 really rough and tough and tumble. And in the moment of the most clarity of my life, this ghost that I chased for 15 years, had not only come into his enlightenment, but also came into a big amount of money because his mother passed away, who loved me and like loved us together. But she knew that like I needed to like move on. She was grateful that I helped her son. She was very intuitive. Hi, Naomi. But it was just like this kind of thing. Like we were all like together for a reason, like everything happened. Like I knew why we were in each other's lives. But he was like, look, I got this money. My mom, look, we can start that life together. My mom would love it if I spent the money on us, to get our, and I wanted to. I did. I was like, gosh, for 15 years, that's all I ever wanted. It was like, and then when I had everything I ever wanted, I was like, here's this other person that I'm like, total struggle. I'm miserable. Like I could easily just like go that road. But, interestingly enough, spirit just really urged me to push it aside. And it wasn't, and I felt really bad because, looking back on things that happened to them and whatever, and I was like, God, if we had gotten together, I wonder what would have happened. So lately I started to, in this like fucking Mercury retrograde and this eclipse energy in real time, it's April 24th, 2023. We are in the second moon phase. We are setting intentions. It's like I started to look at everything. And I was like, no, of course, we go back to those moments, the past, what the coulda, woulda, shoulda, the coulda been. But what would have happened? I don't know. Maybe we would have been happy. Maybe we wouldn't have. I know that he, as far as the last time I spoke to him several years ago, he was still using, you know. He wasn't on drugs that almost, killed him and tore us apart, but he was still drinking and he was still smoking weed. And he was like, I feel comfortable doing that. I'm like, then you should then do that. But like, I don't want that in my life. Like, I don't want cigarettes in my life. I'm like, I love you. But like, and I didn't want to have to try and change him and go through. I was like, no, this isn't, because I realized like we were just meant to walk with each other for that short time. And yes, we were passionate. We were probably passionate lovers in another life too. We had a magical chemistry. Neither one of us trusted anybody, but we had this like implicit trust with each other. Even when I found out his addictions and like found out the horrible things he was doing and robbing from people, fucking crack cocaine will fucking turn you into a different person, a different animal, a different beast. All stuff like that does. It's how we use it. But if it is poison to some people, like I told him, I'm like, that's your fucking poison, dude. I'm like, I think you can probably still smoke weed and shroom and shit. I'm like, but I don't think you can drink anymore. And he's like, well, I'm not ready to stop drinking. I'm like, well, I can't be with you. And who knows what my life would have been like. I would have moved to Colorado, but I really love the Pacific Northwest. I know I wouldn't, I love Colorado, but I always feel landlocked when I'm there. I always feel like an animal in a cage. I got to get out. I need to be near big bodies of water. Past life probably, I don't know, whatever. My moon's in Scorpio. But honestly, you guys, what's happening on the planet and what's happening in your home, it's like it's the same thing, it's the same place, you know what I mean? So if you're with somebody and you're in the same patterns and things aren't changing, and you don't feel like they're ever going to change, then you have to do certain things to make the change. The interesting thing is, each time that I have been pushing my now partner to change, he's taken up the sword. His triple Gemini, his air, he's taken up the sword and he has come to task to, work on this relationship, work on himself, be the mirror for me that I need to work through my own shit. He's been my real twin flame. And twin flames are no joke. But you gotta, this has been coming up a lot lately. Spirit's saying, I feel like some of you are obsessed with a twin flame, or you think, don't watch too many readings. If you watch too many readings, you're gonna fucking hear what you wanna hear. You know what I mean? Don't be going to readings seeking out the yes people. Go with your intuition instead. Okay, so which relationship patterns do I need to break? Let's see what first one comes through from the Moonology deck. Last night, I worked with the Moonology deck with Alder and I in our relationship, and woo, man, I had to look at a lot of fucking mirrors for myself, and my comeuppance came in my face, my karma came up in my face, and my fucking arrogance and my ego came up in my face. You know what I'm saying? Because none of us are exempt. And love is beautiful, and love is kind, but it can also be a cruel fucking mistress. And can rip your fucking heart out. You can love somebody, but you don't have to take care of their whole lives. Your family, your friends, your children, your workplace. Work more closely with the moon. Also, frankincense came in. And I know frankincense is pricey. Get real frankincense. I don't work for doTERRA or basically... Oh, it doesn't want to come into play. Interesting. Maybe it's not coming into play right now. That was really weird. But just work with frankincense, and maybe you're meant to sell doTERRA. I don't know. Look into it. And if you're interested, my friend Jules is like really like, she can really hook you up. But frankincense is a very powerful healer. Just make sure wherever you get your frankincense sourced that it's really healthy. Because the more expensive it is, that means it's usually better. Not always in every case, but in essential oils, like research the company, find out, some people just make it, even a shit company might make the frankincense expensive, right? Because they know that frankincense is expensive. Just do your due diligence, do the research. But frankincense is so powerful. And for some of us who are, our age is upon us and we want less wrinkles or less wrinklage, frankincense is amazing for your skin and for your wrinkles on your face. There's a lot of recipes. I've put my own recipe together of frankincense, Roman chamomile. What's the other one I use? I can't see it right now. But anyway, and I use like coconut oil. Like I use good oils on my face. And if you're somebody who can't use oils, then, find out if you can get frankincense in a cream or something like that. Anyway, but frankincense is also really good for your third eye. And when I started putting your reading together, a lot of third eye stuff was coming up. The pineal gland was coming up. So working with the deep theta 6 hertz, getting in on those relationships. 1253 is your angel number. If you're new here, if I spout out animals or numbers, they're for you to look up or decipher on your own. Could be 12 is a month and 53 is an age. Ooh, look at this. Oh my gosh. Be bold and make the first move. So my camera has been freezing lately, and I don't know. I do know why. I have to get a new phone. It's cracked in the middle and it's like starting to like spread out. Anyway, so it says be bold and make the first move. It's the cardinal moon. We're going to read it. I apologize, but it's been doing this. And basically I'm going to have to let it try and work itself out. Maybe if I pause it. Oh, it won't even let me pause it. So here we go. So I'm sorry. Close your eyes if it's annoying. I can actually put it back here too if that's easier. So it's not like fuzzy in your eyes. You know what I mean? Because it's like let the moon be your guide seems to be more in focus. So be bold and make the first move. They do want me to read from the book. They asked me to jump right in on that. And I can't pause. So frankincense, though, is also good for like if you cut yourself or, it helps with taking scars away. I mean, frankincense has many purposes. And yeah, it's expensive, but a little goes a long way. You could put one drop in a lot of oil or water. It's good to put a little in the water and the air too, to like kill the germs in the air. It's very, 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 very powerful stuff. Okay, so cardinal moon, page 104, if that means anything to anybody. Normally I pause, but I can't touch. I'm not getting, plus Mercury's in retrograde. I'm getting a new phone after. I just anyway. Okay, so now is the time to be bold, bossy even. I got this card last night, by the way. Take matters into your own hands. Cardinal signs are powerful and self-starting. They're determined and great at organizing. Drawing this card strongly suggests that you're going to need to be all those things to get your ideal resolution or position in the situation you're asking about. This card may challenge you on how strongly you really want something. If you're worrying about a situation, it is a suggestion to be less passive. Instead, take an assertive stance as you steer events where you want them to go. Speak up for what you want. And if you're serious about sorting things out, you may need to take the lead in some way to step up as a leader. To attune to the moon, this is your mantra. I am taking charge of my destiny. And you might want to pause this and write it. Go get pen and paper. I'll wait. I need some water anyway. Get some water for yourself. Seven words, by the way. Exclamation point. I am taking charge of my destiny. And you may want to write this down and put it on your altar. And if you're not sure what an altar is, or if you have been lacking in your dedication to your practice, you might want to go to reading 2. Lots of good pearls there. So I am taking charge of my destiny is your attunement to this moon cycle, which is setting intentions. So you are telling this spirit, you are telling energy, you are telling the setting intention second phase of the moon cycle that you are taking charge of your destiny. So now you must do it. And let the moon be your guide. The additional meanings for this card are, now mind you, this is a mass reading for a lot of people, so if it ticks, it's yours. Like if it pinches in that intuition, that's fine. If not, if you're like, blah, 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 not your message, not your medicine. So, number 1, be bold and follow your heart and your emotions, right? Don't just follow your head. You need to follow your heart and your emotions. Now, not every time. Some of you, I'm getting the vibe that you're kind of flying all over the place. But listen, when you attune yourself to the moon, you're probably right on target of where your emotions are. I was going through some major shit over the last few weeks, and I'm like, oh, yep, makes sense. Yep, everything. I look at astrology. Yep, that aligns. If you're an empath, if you're a sensitive, which most likely in this reading you are very, very close to energy feels. You get the feels. You understand. You align with nature, right? Some of you, I feel like the hawk medicine has been calling for you. Work with the hawk spirit medicine. I almost feel like the hawk's getting lost over here, like it needs to come over here so you can really see it. Okay, but it's about connecting our heart with our emotions, but not necessarily, you could be bold and follow your heart and your emotions, but, you could be like, oh my God, hey Brad, I really have a crush on you, and like blah, blah, blah. Or you can be like, super fucking chill and be calm and grounded and be like, hey Brad, what's going on? Oh, I really, really like your tie. I love bow ties. Oh, that's so cool. Hey, do you want to go get coffee with me sometime? Total different energy. You're still acting from your heart. You're following your heart. You're being bold and going after that love conquest, but you're not fully going on your emotions, because when the emotions drive the bus, it makes us crazy. That's why they say on a full moon, right? On a full moon, it's nutty. It's crazy because the moon is illuminated, right? Especially when it's like a super moon or these like hyper moons or these eclipses and things like that. Yeah, we follow everything. The tides ebb and flow from the moon. We are not covered in full water because of the moon. It's like the moon and the sun and the stars, they keep us where we are, where we need to be. So, I am taking charge of my destiny, and keep saying it. Write it on a fucking post-it. Write it down on a piece of paper, take a screenshot of it and keep it on your phone. Keep saying it to everybody. If somebody's in your path and you're like, hey, aren't you going to go to this party? Nope, I can't. I'm taking charge of my destiny, and today I am not meant to do that. And if they're like, what does that mean? Be like, I don't know, but I'm taking charge of my destiny. Because that's how you take charge of your destiny, is like really like going with what feels good. Okay. So number 2, avoid recklessness or moving too fast. Interesting that we are in Mercury retrograde. Whenever you watch this, always timeless, but in real time, we are in Mercury retrograde. We are in eclipse season. I just put out a little shorts on, and also just did a real talk, a Tallulah talk on my Lula's Life channel. There's a link on here if you haven't been there before. But yeah, about that Mercury retrograde, man. I fucking smashed my noggin really hard because I wasn't paying attention to something. Right? Because I wasn't paying attention to something. I wasn't looking forward. I wasn't grounded. See how fast my words were coming out? I was moving too fast. They want you to slow your roll. But see how I can move with the energy of you guys and me and getting excited? Oh. Because even though we're in an Aries moon cycle, we are in Taurus, which is grounding earth energy. So, and the bull is telling you to be bold. But avoid recklessness or moving too fast. You know that old saying, like a bull in a china shop? If a bull walked through a china shop and the aisles were big enough for them not to hit anything, they could probably walk through the whole china shop and not break a dish. But if the bull came in running and he was all over the place and was like, oh, give me, how did I get in here? I gotta get out. Oh my gosh, what's happening, right? When they chase him, my poor heart, I can't, right? Then agony ensues. Things break, shit happens. That's how our relationships are. So maybe you're in patterns like that are reckless. Maybe you're with someone who's reckless. I had to point out my husband's recklessness of my heart for him to hear me and see me and feel me. And then I had to go back and find out how I played a part in that. What did I do? It's not a one-way street. So we have to be cautious. We can be bold and make the first move, but we have to be cautious, right? In our relationships. We can love with our whole heart, yes. But also, if someone shows you who they are or tells you who they are, believe them. And I asked my husband to be brutally honest with me. I asked him 2155 and then I went to 2156. I asked him to be brutally honest with me about something. And then when he finally was, I like looked at him like, do you hear what you just said? He's like, holy shit. And I go, doesn't it feel good to be fucking honest? That's who you are right now. He's like, but I don't want to be that person. I'm like, yeah, but that's where you are right now and your process. And I'm trying to make you aware of it because you don't realize how much it hurts my feelings, you know? And I'm trying, and I can look the other way for a long period of time, but after a while I'm just like, hey, I'm getting rained on here. Or, hey, you know, why couldn't you tell me that? Like, he literally, like, I was running out of the house. Now, mind you, it's my responsibility of my own energy, right? But if you're the first person, you're the leader, right? You're going out first, especially him. He's 6'2" and I'm 5'2". So I'm a little over 5'2", but I'm more, you know, I'm closer to 5'3" in my mind. But either way, he's a foot taller than me. And if he had to, we had these windstorms and the canopy fell. We didn't notice it, right? I thought I heard it happen in the night, you know, because we live in an RV off the grid and it has a canopy. And I had my hat on, but I was the one locking up and leaving and, you know, getting all of our stuff to go on our adventure and do what we needed to do, blah, blah, blah. And I'm packing up and I put my hat on, but my hat has a rim. And so I turned around and I was talking to him and I was, you know, saying goodbye to the cat and I'm locking up the door and I turned around and I just went bam and smacked right into the fucking canopy. And I was like, seriously? Like, you couldn't, one, put the canopy back up where it normally would be, but two, because it wasn't windy or anything, you know, like you could have just easily put it up. Or two, been like, babe, be careful, the canopy's down, you know, blah, blah, blah. I had to like, you know, because I'm like, you're so much taller than me. I know you had to like go pretty down underneath it because I am 5'2" and I smack dab hit it right in my head, in my third eye. But it's still my ultimate responsibility because I wasn't looking, I was moving too fast. But at the same time, we can be there for each other and love each other in relationships, right? And be like, hey, and I get mad that he's not like me because I would have fixed something. Or if not that, I would have at least said, hey babe, be careful, the awning's down, or can you help me fix it right now? You know, that's just how I am. And we're very different in certain ways. And I'll get really mad at him. And yeah, I'm sure some of you are laughing right now. You probably have certain relationships with your people too, right? Whoever you're having this with. But they're triggers there for a reason. They're there to help us work through shit, okay? So, number 3, come into your power. The time for action is now. And if you were called to reading 1 with the unicorns, I highly recommend you go over there because that was a big factor in that. And number 2 was about, what are my special gifts? So if you're drawn to them, if you're not, don't. I mean, maybe someday you'll come back. Maybe you'll never look at them again. Maybe you were just meant to hear these words, this reading right now, 2516, whatever it is. Okay? But it's time for some change and transformation. And the only way to do that is take action. So the 4th and final additional meaning is ask Ganesha, the Hindu elephant god, for help. Yes, reach out to Ganesha, Ganesha, the Hindu elephant god. Just look up Hindu elephant god if you don't remember Ganesha. But 2544, angel number, but also maybe if you want to stop right now and write that down, you can have that for later. But work with Ganesha through these troubling times, through these relationships, because the other music that came in after that healing meditation right before this started with you was this song was called, or the album was called Resting Place, because I put on really calm music. And the title of the song was Trust. You know, if people keep saying they're going to stop doing something and they don't do it, that's a way of breaking trust. Same for myself. Every time I'm mean to him, every time we have a fight and I'm like, I want out of here, I want a divorce, I'm over, I'm running, blah, blah, blah. Every time, it's like I have to have my little comeuppance and come back and say, you know what? That was me too. We made a commitment. We're in this. I'm sorry I yelled at you. I'm sorry, because sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like, that's just the way I talk. And I was trying to explain to him, sometimes we have to realize in our relationships, even if it's your parent, we have to reteach people how to teach us. Excuse me. Ooh, that's good too. We have to reteach people how to treat us and teach us our own boundaries and to be the mirror and see what part we're playing in something. But at the same time, we are allowed to say, hey, that hurts me, or hey, that hurts my feelings, or hey, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm a person too. I have feelings. That hurts me. But if people keep saying they're sorry and they keep doing the same thing, they're not sorry. And I said that to him yesterday. I go, have you changed immensely? Yes. Have you changed dramatically? Yes. I'm like, do I believe, this and that? I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, but these little things, that's old shit. That's your parents. That's nitpicky stuff. I don't know what that is. But I'm like, that's just hurtful, mean. You just go mean. It's like he goes dark with the moon. And it's just like, he just like cuts off emotionally to me. And I was like, I don't think that's healthy. And if you are going to be that way, you can still like be in that healing session or in that process, but you don't have to be like, because then I react, and then it's like, we're just like, and it's not good. So, gird your loins. I always love Stanley Tucci in Devil Wears Prada. It's like, that was like one of the best scenes in a movie, right? Because like she was coming in, the fucking storm was coming in, and he's like, gird your loins, she's here. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, you must go see it. Please watch that as your next movie. You will love it. The Devil Wears Prada. And I don't care if you're the most masculine, macho, I'm not into chick flicks. Yeah, you'll love it. So the teaching of this cardinal moon is, in astrology, there are 3 quadruplicity: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. The cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So also this could be you, this could be people that you're dealing with. Remember, we each have all the 12 signs in our chart for different parts of our lives. It's just the way the astrological wheel works. So, you may even want to find out your person or the person that you're having the most trouble with, find out where their cardinal sign is, or what's in their cardinal, or it's late. I'm sorry. I've been doing these all day. I apologize. I don't mean to do this to you, my sweet reading 3. That is my fault. I didn't get enough rest, or I've been going through my own things, and Spirit told me to go to bed, and I just stayed up and wrote because I was in the zone. So my apologies. But But you hear me, you feel me, right? Like there could be something in a placement of their chart, whether it's in work or love or relationships, or you know what I mean, that something's going on there. Okay. It says these are the signs that like to get things started and which are the natural leaders. But also, we're in the second Aries moon. We're in the dark moon of Aries. So, I mean, to me, that's like such a, be bold and make the first move. This is the time that, you have those rough conversations, even if it's going to be dark and it is, fucking make a pot of tea and get in there and say, you guys, like, we need to talk, if it's like roommates or, workplace, or if it's a partner or family or whatever, and say, this is what I need. I've been holding back who I am, and if you're struggling with those things, go back to reading 1 or reading 2. But, this is the time. This is the hour. You have the strength and you have the power. We are the witches, the healers, and the deep down believers. And if not us, who? We are the leaders. If not us, who? You can't just stay in one place. Like maybe at your job, like you've been a manager for like, let's say 13 years, right? Now it's a cycle of 13 year, which it's time for you to move on. And Spirit's like, yeah. And you've had like your babies and you love them and you take care of everybody. But then maybe you have a family at home too. And they're like, you know what? Maybe you need to switch into a job that you do that, but it's just like more like one-on-one instead of like 1 on 100. I've lost many friendships and clients because they were needy baby, greedy baby, and they wanted all of my attention all the time. And I've watched people, I'm watching it right now. I watch people turn on me all the time. I don't take it personally anymore. I used to, but I realize like it has nothing to do with me. They're just frustrated because they don't want to do the work themselves. But it's time for you to move on to the next stage. I feel like if some of you were asking Spirit if like you should break up with someone or move out, this is a yes. For some of you, it's a no, but only the no is only if you do definitely feel like this is your person and whatever, but not because you're in this, I'm going to fix them. We've been through this before, blah, blah, blah. It depends, because certain patterns with people won't break unless you leave. And sometimes, like my husband and I had to fucking leave 3147. I had, oh, that's my birthday backwards. No, it's not, because 47 is 11. Oh, that was in the other reading too. That's so interesting, right? But I had to like do a lot of things. I had to kick him out. I had to make him leave. Like we had to like, break up completely. I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I was like, I love you and I know that you are on a path of healing and whatever. I'm like, but I am not your person anymore. I'm not, I would say to him, I'm like, I think you do need more women, or you need this or that. Maybe I just haven't, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not there. I'm more of a spiritual, like, lover for you. I'm not there to just get you off or feed an addiction or teach you something about yourself in that way. I'm like, maybe you need to go do that. And I'm glad we did. I mean, in almost 8 years, we have broken up sometimes for like six weeks at a time, a few months at a time, and then we come back and we work through things and we talk about things. And so, but that's why, because our love runs deeper. It's more of like this very connected thing. It's not just sex or money or protection or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like we need to be who we are as individuals, and we have to call each other out on our shit and be bold and brave enough to fucking listen, all of us, and to hear it and to take it and to make ourselves better so that we can be better. Today, Alder drinks tea things, and they always teas that have like things at the bottom of them. And today was the Mahatma, is that how he says Mahatma Gandhi? So Gandhi says, "Be the change you want to see in the world." That was his thing today, and I wondered if it would come in at all. And now I'm realizing, yeah, it's like we have to be the change we want to see in the world. We're the natural leaders. So if not in this, you still have Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. I feel like for those of you that you do feel like things are good, but like you're like, oh, what? And you're like waking up now. You're like, I feel like this also has to do with the cardinal signs that Aries season, Cancer season, Libra, and Capricorn. Like we just got out of Aries season and like we had one chance. And I feel like in Cancer season, so Aries was fire, Cancer is water, Libra is air, and Capricorn is earth. So I feel like in these four, throughout this year, from now until the next zodiac year, because Pisces is really the end of our year. This is like, it's like a calendar year for school, 2023, 2024. So by the time we get to Capricorn season, the end of Capricorn season 2024, this next year we're going to see so many beautiful magical things. So just be patient, okay? and be bold. And maybe being bold is just taking a little bite at a time. It's going to be different for everybody. Okay. So the last part is, no matter when you draw this card, it's a sign that something new is starting and you quite possibly need to take the lead on it. Also, it's on pages 104 and 105, if that means anything to you guys. Take another sip of water. I just want to see if, I believe those are our messages, but I just want to go in and speak with, some of the other decks did come in. So Witch's Wisdom is in my hands right now, and I'm asking them, are there any messages from you, from the Witch's Wisdom, for which relationship patterns do I need to break? It could be for one person, multiple people. Do we have multiple messages? One message from the Witch's Wisdom. I knew we have one because they're letting me shuffle. Okay, Watchtower of the North, winter. Okay, so I can't go in Watchtower of the North, winter. Ooh, winter is coming. Interesting. Watchtower of the North, winter. I am definitely like, I heard you dive right into that. I was like, yay. I was like, can I go into the book on this? Or like, you absolutely can. Okay, so Watchtower of the North, winter. So they have Watchtower of the North, south, east, west, and they're aligning, elements and all that stuff. But this says, here is our witch's prayer / blessing. Winter's hard, but you'll survive. As crone strips you whilst still alive, this season's magic is laid bare, new wisdom's found within to share. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be. There, it is done. And it's on page 92, which is also the number 11. And when I looked down, it was 3611. So the Witch's Wisdom says, calling upon the guardians and gatekeepers of the North, the season of winter brings you its gifts steeped in magic and mystery as it works in conjunction with the element of earth. By visiting the watchtowers of the North, you are being called to go deep within, to rest and recharge, whilst Earth nurtures and restores you. The North will assist you with all aspects of home life, security, and the nurturing that you require. Connect with the crone aspect of the triple goddess as you journey with the god, in elder form, inwards, and face that which you have ignored for too long. Allow winter to freeze out any unwanted behaviors, situations, or addictions you've been holding on to, stripping you bare within the dark chambers of winter's tomb. The color black represents the element of earth and should be used in accordance with your magical workings at the time of midnight. Winter shares its wisdom in association with the card that flanks this one. So the wisdom of being bold and making the first move, and the cardinal moon. But interestingly enough, I feel like we may be pulling another one. I just got the chills. And for some of our Southern Hemisphere family, you are really like, you're in fall, you're mid-fall, and you're going into winter. So I feel like you guys, there's some really cool magic that's going to come out of this winter for you, that's going to burst and birth new things in spring. Also, for some of you in the Northern Hemisphere who've been thinking about moving to this Southern Hemisphere, I feel like by the end of this year, you will have your sign of where to go and what's going to happen with that. 100%. Also, and I don't normally throw timelines out like that unless Spirit really wants me to. Also, what they wanted me to say was, for some of us in the Northern Hemisphere, we're in the middle of throat chakra. We're in the middle of spring, and we're coming out of that winter energy, but we're not full blown yet. It's like you go on that spring break and you feel good and you get that charge of the sun and the tan and you feel great. And some people, that'll last them all the way till summer. They just need that little recharge. But some people, they go away for like a week or a weekend or 2 weeks, and then they come back and then it's still gloomy and dreary for like a month. And they're like, well, that was a fucking waste of money, But it's like, it's not a waste of money because you needed that little recharge. You needed that little moment. And it's up to you whether you want to stay in that energy and bring that sun back with you to others, if that makes any sense, right? So the Witch's Foresight says, you're going through a dark night of the soul. Yes. And some of you, remember, we've been talking about this tribe for a long time. Every one of us in this tribe are either at the beginning, the middle, or the end of the dark night of the soul. Every one of us. So where are you in your process? Okay. And be bold, make the first move. Like, go into your darkness. Don't be afraid to like look at your shadow and look and let things mirror you. Don't be afraid to see what part that you're playing in something, your complacency. Because that's what I've been hearing from Spirit lately is our complacency, right? Because complacency breeds contempt or something, right? So it's wise words. So you're going through a dark night of the soul. Surrender and release. Persist. The rewards will be life-changing. You are metamorphosizing, rest and rejuvenate, okay? The ancestors are connecting with you. Invoke your dark side with harm to none, right? Because you want to work through it. Like I was working through my shadow, but I was like taking it out on him, you know? And why that started was spirit. It started from the last end of the moon cycle, the wellness reading, the picker reading that we did, where that list. And if you go in the community section, you'll see that list. I'm telling you, do the list from that community section. It's really good. But it was about, you know, what do we need to like cash out right now? But read the what I wrote in there too. You don't have to do everything up at once, just to be upfront, because they say so. You know, if you feel like you can do it all at once. But like for me, they're having me go through this process where I'm going through these old poems that I wrote when I was in shadow, when I was in the dark night of the soul, and I didn't realize what was happening with every fucking poem or darkness or things that I went through. It's like I'm like every single thing I was like taking it out on my present situation. Even though I told him I forgave him and I told him blah blah blah, I was still like, you did this to me. I'm in this way because you did this. But what hit me? The fucking evil eye. Look down here. The evil eye of karma. In all ways, we love karma. She is a fucking badass bitch, and she does not forget an address. So remember, whatever we put out into the world comes back to us. So, you know, I said, it's interesting. His karma and my karma are like they're dancing in the darkness together. And every moon cycle, until we work this shit out, it's going to happen. And I said, not every, excuse me, not every moon cycle, every time we go through this kind of transformation of eclipse and retrograde season, they're happening together for a reason. They want us to get there, and especially now on this dark moon. So don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of your shadow. It's there to help you. So the Watchtowers of the North revealed says, hail and welcome guardians of the North Star. Also, don't forget that we are in North Star, North grounding energy, Earth, Taurus. We are in Taurus energy. You can utilize the Aries fire, but don't forget that without, you know what I mean? Like fire can spread, but it is the earth that it is connected to when we make a fire, right? So this is a time of the ancestors. The power of earth connects us to our wisdom and understanding of the old ways. The goddess integrates and welcomes the aspect of crone as the god embraces the wisdom of the elder. Pentacle protects this quarter. So, and pentacles are about money and finances. And if you are having a scarcity or any type of toxic energy with money, I highly suggest you go to reading 2, just for the blessing part of the manifestation. Also, Spirit had me do a funny little shorts with Bubba and that right after I finished that reading. So I'm going to be putting a manifesting blessing out there. So look out for that shorts. I'm not sure if it's going to be on here or if it's going to be on Lula's Life. But anyway, with that being said, it's time to bring that power back, right? So work with the pentacle and money. Also on pages 92 and 93. And the Watchtower of the West is like showing me, it's like all of a sudden it just like kind of popped out. So I feel like for our autumn family, I'm going to read this to you since I can't get it to go into focus since my screen won't let me. It says, the West brings the water so it may impart connection and healing and open your heart. Autumn reflects all that's to reveal. Cast magic at dusk for emotions to heal. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be. There it is done. So, you know, what they're saying there is what I got from Spirit is remember that we are going in right now in real time. We are just going to be gravitating and waxing into the full moon energy, and it is the full moon in Scorpio and water. So we will have aspects of Aries, fire, water element, right? 2 elements, and then earth, 3 elements working together. So very, 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 very interesting. I'm not going to read the rest of it. They just wanted me to put that out there, that whatever is happening by the time of the full moon, the connection and the healing, open your heart. Because it says autumn reflects all that's to reveal. Cast magic at dusk for emotions to heal. So maybe it's something where if it's romantic, you need to be like, hey, can we have like a nice little romantic chat over, you know, can we just sit down together, you know, in a loving way? Can we talk, you know, that kind of thing. That's the message I'm getting from Spirit on that. Okay, any more messages from the Witch's Wisdom? This is 43 minutes. This is so far the longest reading. Okay, any messages from Moonology? No. Love that Moonology is your main deck, but I was really feeling the witches there as well. Okay, so unicorns. I feel like the unicorns might give us a nice parting message. So which relationship patterns do I need to break? Anything from the unicorns? Oh my gosh, something just flew out. Did you hear that? Where did it go? And I can't pause it. I heard it fly out. Did it fly? Do you guys see it? Did you guys see it? Like you can see. I wish. Well, maybe you can. Because I'm looking down and I can't see it. Okay. Any messages from the, oh, you know what? I think that what they were trying to tell me is when I do finally find that card, it's probably going to be for a shorts or something. So just keep your eye open for that. All right, you guys, those are our messages. Oh, 4:43 and then 4:44. Until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other. I really hope this helped you in any way. And all of my information is in the About section. If you would like to book a one-on-one session with me or a recorded reading, which is half the price of the session with me, you can email me at magicalmedium@gmail.com. It is in my About section, and so are my other means of contributions if you are feeling so gracious. If not, just send a prayer my way, send some good energy to all of us, to the tribe. This is a really tough time. You know, it's a tough time for everybody. So prayers are welcome and needed, and it's the same kind of currency. Until next time, I love you so much. Blessed be. Oh.